What makes Fossil Fighters unique? Consoles can have gigantic libraries of games, and with a console as widely popular as the DS, it's easy for many games to go under the radar. Fossil Fighters, released in 2009, finds itself as one of these hidden gems, but unlike other lost titles, Fossil Fighters was published and developed by Nintendo. Along with the help of two other developers, this makes Fossil Fighters a sort of second-party game. Although this series isn't as popular as other Nintendo franchises, it has received 2 sequels and respectable sales numbers, making it a small series worth checking out if players are looking for something a bit different. What makes Fossil Fighters unique is how it takes the gimmicks of the DS and uses them to add some weight to the gameplay, while pairing it with combat that values the setup without being reliant on grinding. Now, the box art proclaims that players will dig and duel over 100 dinosaur-like Vivosaurs to collect. It kinda sounds like Pokemon, and it's true that they are marketed similarly, but Fossil Fighters has a unique selling point. Players collect fossils from dig sites, or they can be purchased from various stores, and take them to get cleaned. Once a fossil is cleaned, then the corresponding Vivosaur can be summoned and used in combat. However, only if the head is dug up can it be summoned. Finding other bones helps increase a Vivosaur's power and abilities, making the collection process a bit more dynamic. Finding a head gives you an instant reward, but finding arms and legs may just be a teaser of what's to come. Now, the cleaning is where the game uses the gimmicks of the DS. Touch the screen to break the rock and blow the dust away with the microphone. It's very similar to the Explorer's Cave from Generation 4 Pokemon. Depending on how well the player cleans the fossil, the stronger the Vivosaur becomes. It may seem childish to have a mini-game in order to summon creatures, but it's actually very difficult to get it perfect. Players only have a 90-second time limit and a pair of tools at their disposal. The hammer cleans away rocks quickly, but can easily damage the fossil if players aren't careful. The drill, on the other hand, is great for cleaning the finer areas, but switching to it early can cost too much time to properly extract the fossil. Considering all the different shapes the fossils can take, figuring out the best way to tackle the cleaning process takes a lot of thought and practice. And players want to clean these fossils well because they want their Vivosaur to have good stats. Once a Vivosaur is summoned, and maybe even powered up, it's time to take them into battle. The combat is where Fossil Fighters tries to differentiate itself from Pokemon the most. Battles are up to 3-on-3. Whichever team has lower LP or life points gets to go first. The field itself is split into 4 zones: the attack zone, 2 support zones, and the escape zone. The Vivosaur in the attack zone can attack either the opposing attack zone or either support zone. The support zones, on the other hand, can only attack the opposing attack zone with less damage than normal, but Vivosaur also take less damage in this position. The characters in the support zone also enact their support effects to the field, either raising the stats of their allies or reducing the stats of their opponents. Finally, the escape zone is used purely for switching. A Vivosaur must wait 2 turns after being switched out of the attack zone before they can come back and attack or have their supports active again. When a Vivosaur is in the escape zone, they are completely safe from harm. The 2-turn wait is used to nerf the strategy of constantly switching in order to keep an attacker safe. It also takes away any support bonuses that your team may have had. This leads to a lot of factors needing to be considered when deciding whether to switch or not. Along with just positioning the Vivosaur, each and every turn of combat takes a lot of decision making as well. At the beginning of a turn, the player is given only a certain number of fossil power, or FP. FP is used for attacking, and it can be used in any combination of Vivosaur in their attacks. However, a single Vivosaur can only attack once per turn, so it comes down to players deciding whether or not to stockpile for a later turn or try to go for knockouts immediately and spend as much as possible. However, when a Vivosaur is knocked out, the opposing team gains bonus fossil power to make a strong counterattack. If a player can read the plays just right, set themselves up to have loads of fossil power by sacrificing a teammate in order to take back more the following turn. With each Vivosaur having different stats, skills, advantages and disadvantages, and even having type matchups, the combat is complex, despite all the pieces being easy enough to understand. Choosing who to put in the attack zone, who will support, when and if a Vivosaur will attack, and when to switch brings a lot of strategic thinking to what looks so simple. Putting together a well-rounded team is no easy task, and thus the game actually gives players reserves for when they have to face consecutive battles. This makes what looks like a childish game seem so fresh and different. Now, the game is far from perfect. The camera is a bit too zoomed in, the animations leave a lot to be desired, and the story is about at the level of a Saturday morning cartoon. Fossil Fighters is a noteworthy game, however, because it shows what the DS library is capable of, along with other smaller but great games like Spectrobes, Custom Robo, and Elite Beat Agents. Sure, they didn't sell millions of copies, but they amassed a small, dedicated fan base to warrant their existence. With its complex but easy to pick up combat and smart use of the DS functionality, becoming a fossil fighter is actually a lot of fun. With hundreds of fossils to find in battle and a really enjoyable way to make players care about a touchscreen minigame, it's a gem worth digging up. That is what makes fossil fighters unique. If you enjoyed this video, click that like button, and if you want to see more videos that discuss what makes any video game stand out, be sure to subscribe. Thanks for watching.